Nubreed Global Truth.
We are following breaking news as the Trump administration says that it will pay illegal immigrants $1,000 to voluntarily leave the country. I did want to bring some more details of this breaking news. This announcement today saying that the administration will pay immigrants in the United States illegally who have returned to their home country voluntarily. They will pay them $1,000. This as the Trump administration continues on its mass deportation agenda. The Department of Homeland Security issuing a news release moments ago saying that it will also pay for travel assistance and that the people who use an app called CBP Home to tell the government that they plan to return home, those will be deprioritized for detention and removal by immigration enforcement. Secretary Kristi Noem saying, quote, if you are here illegally, self-deportation is the best, safest, and most cost-effective way to leave the United States to avoid arrest. DHS is now offering illegal aliens financial travel assistance and a stipend to return to their home country through the CBP Home app. And
what's good, everybody? It's your brother Nubreed coming through with another live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, it seems that America doesn't have the finances to do this mass deportation that Trump initially wanted to do. You know, brothers and sisters, it seems like the government has went rogue. Last time I checked, an illegal immigrant is considered a criminal because they crossed illegally. But now they're making deals. So there's a lot of hypocrisy going on here. You know, we got Trump offering $1,000 for immigrants to self-deport. So if they pack up and log into some type of app, they are supposed to trust the American government to give them $1,000 upon exiting the country. Are y'all kidding me? Listen, I don't believe the people are going to go for that. You know, Trump is showing a lot of desperation right now. You know, this is something that is inevitable because we knew off the bat that they wasn't going to have the resources to do a mass deportation like that. Although something wild just popped off in New Jersey, y'all. DEM officials storm ICE facilities. A New York mayor got arrested. I'm talking about like mid-speech. They came and snatched him up, threw him straight on a cargo ship, packed him up and shipped him out of there. And there was an uprising. There was a riot taking place over there in Jersey. So, I mean, it's a lot of madness going on right now, which we're going to go to that source as well, because, you know, it seems to be a lot of anarchy breaking free right now when it comes to this mass deportation. You know, they need to get their affairs in order. Let's go.
End quote. Now, President Trump has made immigration enforcement one of the key priorities, along with mass deportation of immigrants in the United States illegally, but it is costly and labor intensive. This comes as the Republican administration is pushing Congress for a large increase in resources for the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Department, the department responsible for removing people from the country. So I did want to share that breaking news, and I'm taking a look right now at the Homeland website right here. It says, quote, today, the Department of Homeland Security announced a historic opportunity for illegal aliens to receive both financial and travel assistance to facilitate travel back to their home country through the CBP Home app.
And we talking about $1,000 to relocate their whole lives from one country to the next. $1,000, and he really believes people are going to go for that? Does he really believe that people are really going to be using that app to self-deport for $1,000 to relocate to a third world country? Now, see, my original idea was to create a task force that was specifically detailed to go after criminals who crossed over and was doing heinous crimes. A task force. And pretty much that's somewhat what Trump did. But now he's trying to go after everyone, and they just don't have the resources to do that. There's plenty of people over here that live in this country that do not have their paperwork, and those individuals are tax-paying citizens. Those are people who actually work, actually help with the farming, help with warehouse jobs, and so forth. And so, Trump is offering $1,000 for them people to relocate with their entire lives. It ain't gonna happen. And then they have to trust America to actually pay them $1,000 through the app. Listen, if you go through this app, you just identified yourself as a criminal in Trump's eyes. I hope y'all see what's going on. If you happen to be a migrant brother or sister, I want to just warn you right now. You're pretty much putting your name on a list. You're letting the government know you are a criminal, and I wouldn't trust them straight like that. Anyway, let's go.
Any illegal alien who uses this app to self-deport will also receive a stipend of $1,000 paid after their return to their home country has been confirmed through this app. That is a quote directly from the website of the Department of Homeland Security. They're calling this the first. And also this breaking news, and I'm reading this as I'm sharing this with you, according to the DHS website, an immigrant has actually already used this travel assistance to return to Honduras. So it does appear that one immigrant, they say, who came into the country illegally has already self-deported back to Honduras, and so will likely be receiving that $1,000 stipend.
They are literally incentivizing people who have had their whole lives in America. They're incentivizing them with $1K. The inmates are truly running the asylum, y'all. Sometimes I feel like we're in some sort of alternative universe. Sometimes I feel like, something is just wrong. It's like we're spinning on a broken axis here. When you look at what's going on in society, it's truly remarkable. There seems to be no real common sense. Deductive reasoning seems to be out of the window. And it looks like America's on its last leg. And we're constantly doing things that make us look weak to other countries. Because one thing about it is we're supposed to have the enforcement needed to expedite any illegal criminals who are over here. This shows desperation, ladies and gentlemen. On the world stage, they looking like, damn, they have to pay people to leave their country. That's desperate. Look, please leave the country. Just please get out of here. I'm going to give you $1,000. Yeah, we're going to give you $1,000 so you can travel. And, when they're telling you they don't have the resources to pretty much find out who's who. They really don't. So, yeah, this is definitely some craziness, y'all. It's like nothing surprised me these days. Every day there's something else.
Stipend right here. So we continue to follow this breaking news. We haven't yet heard as to whether Secretary Noem is actually going to be speaking about this at a press conference, but this just released moments ago as the Department of Homeland Security announcing that People coming into this country illegally will receive both financial and travel assistance to facilitate travel back to their home country through.
And this is the same country that brought hundreds and thousands of Ukrainians over here 2 years ago. And now all of a sudden they want to do ethnic purging. And the only way they can go about it is offering $1,000 just to show you what they think. Now imagine this. Let's say you're a farmer who built on this country and you worked for pennies on the dollar doing the labor that no one else wanted to do. And you don't have the paperwork needed. All of a sudden, $1,000 in a damn Happy Meal is what they're offering you to expose yourself and then to exit the country. I mean, the nerve of these heathens, bro. The nerve of them. The nerve of the people who came over here and took this land by conquest. We talking about the Roman Empire, the conquerors. We talking about the damn Vikings. Yeah, we talking about them folks. The folks who don't have no stock to no land, but the Caucasus. Yeah, we talking about those folks who believe that this land is their land. Not this land is our land, this land is your land, this land is our land. No, this land is theirs. They're telling you right now the country is ours. This is how they think. And we're going to give you a measly $1,000 to get out of here because we're done using your ingenuity and continuity. We now got 500 billion towards AI, so we don't need you no more. We need y'all to round up now. Giddy on up now. Yeah, what happened to this land is God's land, our land, your land. Nah. Now Trump said 1,000, a thou wow. Boy, you can't make it up. And look at the kind of anarchy it's causing already. I'm talking about already. Peep this, y'all.
With some breaking news that we are following. Let's take you out right now to New Jersey, right outside of a ICE detention center. And this is where a protest with Democrats turned a little bit upside down. And for more on this, I do want to bring in our my colleague Andrew Kraft to break it all down for us, who has been following this story. It even involves an arrest of a New Jersey mayor. Andrew.
Yeah, Mike, there's a lot happening in Newark today, aside from the problems at the airport with yet another radar outage there. We're getting a statement in from the Department of Homeland Security, and they say that today, as a bus of detainees was entering the security gate of Delaney Hall Detention Center, you see there, Delaney Hall, that's a live picture. DHS says a group of protesters, including 2 members of U.S. Congress, stormed the gate and broke into the detention facility. The members, Robert Menendez Jr. and Bonnie Watson Coleman, and multiple protesters are holed up in a guard shack, the first security checkpoint.
They straight up did an insurrection, y'all. I'm talking about they broke in trying to release the captives because their mayor got snatched up. Now imagine he mid-speech and ICE come through there like a pack of wild hyenas and toss this man in one of these facilities. I'm talking about packed him up. He's the mayor, y'all. Man, what is going on in America, bro? How are they figuring out who to go target? Like what is happening here?
Members of Congress storming into a detention facility goes beyond bizarre political stunt and puts the safety of our law enforcement agents and the detainees at risk. DHS says members of Congress are not above the law and cannot illegally break into detention facilities. Had these members requested a tour, we would have facilitated a tour of the facility. This is an evolving situation. The allegations by Newark politicians that Delaney does not have the proper permitting is false, they say. We have valid permits, and inspection from plumbing, electricity to fire codes has been clear. That's a statement in from the Department of Homeland Security. So two of these New Jersey Democrats from the House, Bonnie Watson Coleman and Robert Menendez Jr., are involved in this, as is, Mike, the Democrat.
So they saying that some Democrat officials, some political officials broke into the Delaney Hall facility, bro. Are you kidding? Like, yo, what are we looking at, y'all? This is, yo, every day something wild takes place, man, in America. What's going on, Aaron? What's up, Limited Tag, Sister 1973, Humble Night 9300. Aaron, what's up? Y'all see this? Q Johnson, I see you in the building. What's popping? True peace and security. Do y'all see what's going on, my people? Now, they saying that the Democrats are so radical, they out here breaking into facilities. I mean, this world is a stage and the media is getting insane, bro. Let's go.
Democratic mayor of Newark, New Jersey, Alina Habba, the interim act.
Let me read this. The mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka, committed trespass and ignored multiple warnings from Homeland Security investigations to remove himself from the ICE detention center in Newark. So he broke out of ICE. Hold on, bro. Are you kidding? We got mayors breaking out of ICE detention centers, bro. Yo, what's going on in New Jersey, man? What the hell is going on in New Jersey? Do y'all believe this? I mean, this is crazy. The mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka, committed trespassing and ignored multiple warnings from Homeland Security investigations to remove himself. So, okay, let me get it right. He would not remove himself from the ICE detention center in Newark. So I'm guessing that he was in there trying to figure out what was going on in the detention center, or did he get snatched up because he was foreign? I don't know. I'm trying to read between the lines. But it says security investigations to remove himself from the ICE detention center in Newark, New Jersey, this afternoon. He has willingly chosen to disregard the law that will not stand for this. I mean, maybe he was trying to figure out what y'all was doing with these detainees. Yo, and I'm going to show y'all some footage because it went crazy. Y'all don't know what's going on in Jersey, but they went out here and crashed out over this.
U.S. Attorney for New Jersey, she tweets this: the mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka, committed trespass and ignored multiple warnings from Homeland Security investigations to remove himself from the ICE detention center in Newark, New Jersey this afternoon. He has willingly chosen to disregard the law that will not stand in this state. He has been taken into custody, all caps, no one is above the law, Habba says. So, Mike, what we have right now confirmed by acting U.S. Attorney Habba is that the mayor of Newark, New Jersey right now has been taken into custody. Now, what we can't confirm right now, we do not know kind of the status of these two members of Congress, Bonnie Watson Coleman and Robert Menendez Jr. Looks like Congressman Coleman has tweeted this.
Yo, ICE didn't detain a mayor of New Jersey. I'm talking about, look, every single day that goes by, this escalates. Let me see something here. Let's go.
This video saying we're at Delaney Hall there. You can see we're taking it full. So this is like DHS says, an evolving situation. Mike, this is of a piece of some of the stories that we have been covering on illegal immigration, on undocumented migration. Mike, you'll remember just now, about 2 Fridays ago there in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, that federal agents arrested that Milwaukee County judge there for facilitating the kind of release and escape of one of these undocumented migrants. Remember, that was a huge story at the time now there in Milwaukee. This, though, in Newark, New Jersey,
I remember 3 months ago when they were talking about New Jersey preparing for a mass deportation. What it looks like is the mayor wasn't standing for it. And the mayor was pretty much like, look, we have the right to protest. And this is something that we have the right to do in America, but they have been trying to stand in the way of our First Amendment, which is the right to protest. We pay our tax paying dollars go towards these facilities. If New Jersey mayor and governor decided that they wanted to protest that facility in a state, you detaining them, I'm trying to figure out how that's lawful. But it seems like mayors are under the rule and thumb of the powers that be too. And whoever step out of line gonna get it. This is starting to look like a dictatorship, y'all. We are living in a totalitarian government. America's not what it used to be. Let's continue.
Holding right now, we have a live picture outside the Delaney Hall ICE detention facility, where, from what we're told, there was some type of protest organized by New Jersey Democrats, and it has turned somewhat chaotic there and somewhat hairy. And you see there, this is from what? New Jersey Spotlight News on social media. A new video from the scene. You see some of these HSI agents there. That's Homeland Security Investigations. I believe there is the mayor of Newark, Ross Baraka, and others. This is quite tense. And you see there Congresswoman Watson Coleman. I'm not sure. I don't see Robert Menendez Jr. For those watching, that is the son of disgraced former U.S. Senator Bob Menendez. He is a House member there in New Jersey, his son, Menendez Jr. So this is quite a tense situation.
Hey, you know what the Bible says? A land divided cannot stand, y'all. And the country is definitely divided. You got crowdfunding race wars. You got mass deportations. You got Democrats versus Republicans. A lot of the times it be your own family members against you and you against your family. It's like nobody's sticking together these days. It's all confusion and chaos out here. That's why I say all the time, only thing you could do is find your peace and protect it. By all means, protect your peace. Because it's getting real out here. And I wouldn't just jump out here and be involved with any of these political protests at this current time. Because they're not caring. They're arresting whoever. It reminds me of when Trump was like, I want y'all to march down to the Capitol. And later on, all those people lost their right to fly. You know what I'm saying? If you get involved and take to the streets regarding any of this, then they're going to find a way to make it backfire. Because once one party is out the office and the next party is in, the people will get punished for their actions. They're pretty much playing the people. Let's go.
Turning somewhat physical. Oh, there's Menendez there. You just saw him try to push off some of these other federal agents outside this DHS detention facility. What a video. Wow.
Yeah, so tense there as they make their way past the gate there and then continue to go in, and you see the security police trying to stop them from getting past that gate.
So, Mike, what is so interesting, we don't know whether or not these members of Congress and the Democratic mayor of Newark.
I'm going to tell you, some of this stuff be staged too. Don't believe everything you see. Sometimes these things are staged because they plan chaos. And they're inciting a civil war. They're trying to get people riled up. I'm telling you, can't believe everything you see.
Whether they're, advocating on behalf of an individual or kind of the, system writ large, that's unknown right now. We don't know whether or not they are kind of pleading on behalf or advocating on behalf of an individual in the detention facility itself. But it seems like, according from the statement we have from DHS, that they had concerns with some of the conditions, Mike, and the facilities themselves at.
That's what I thought. You know, they probably had concerns about what's going on in the facility, and they were trying to practice their right to protest, and it got a little bit heated, and one thing led to the next, and now you got a mayor arrested. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we see what's going on with these tariffs, and it's affecting a lot of different businesses. One business in particular is the Black Beauty Supply Stores. That's right. I talked about this when this initially broke, and I'm speaking of the trade war. I said, look, you ladies, get prepared to grow your natural hair out, you know, even if that means you're starting over and you going from scratch, because it's going to come a time where them damn bundles about to be $5,000-$10,000. It's going to get real like that. So all the sisters who on their natural journey doing what they doing, hey, y'all already got a step forward in the game, right? Peep this.
Of hair and shelves of oils at beauty supply store Pink Noir are miles away from President Donald Trump's tariffs overseas. In Memphis, Tennessee, owner Chastity Monroe says price hikes will soon hit close to home. There are so many different products in this store. Yes. Where do you get most of them from? Are they manufactured in the United States?
No. So I like to say the entire store really exists in the international trade, right? About 90% of the items are sourced from China.
From China specifically?
Yes.
When President...
90% of the items are sourced from China. Wow. Yeah. Sister Wanda says, you sure did say that, Breed. I'm locked in or locked up. That's what I'm telling y'all. Y'all be thinking I just be saying this stuff. But I told y'all right when this happened, I said, man, them weaves, the products, all of it fitting a skyrocket. And I'm going to tell y'all ladies something. Us brothers, we love natural hair. We love it. Even if you got to start over from scratch and you got the small afro to start over, or whatever, even if you have silky hair, whatever the type of hair you got, doesn't matter. Brothers just like natural hair. You understand? At least real men do. One of these snakes and fakes, they're going to inspire you and influence you to keep wearing weaves, right? Real brothers is going to, listen, we're going to be there with you for the whole process. We're going to be there with you for the whole process and encourage you, right? Know what I'm saying? Because it's about time y'all take this, you know what I'm saying, this Chinese hair off y'all head. I'm just keeping it a buck. And the brothers in the chat, if y'all can attest to what I'm saying, if y'all rocking with what I'm talking about, put a 1 in the chat. Let the sisters know. Like we are in support of your natural journey, your natural hair journey. We rocking with you 100%. Because at the end of the day, you got to save some bread. You got to save your money. I mean, ladies, what y'all going to do? Y'all going to spend $10,000 on some bundles? I don't think so. I might be, I might be hyping it up a little bit, but you're going to pay at least twice of what you were paying before. If you was paying $300, $400, $500, $600, you're going to be paying double that. And it ain't going to get no better. Them tariffs just going to keep bringing it up. Yeah, we talking about 140% upcharge on them Jones. It's just the Most High trying to get y'all to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? That's all. And everybody get the likes up on the video. Let's go.
President Trump imposed a one.
Really exists in the international trade, right? About 90% of the items are sourced from China.
90%. Look at her face. You see this lady's face right here? Let's zoom in on that. She like, damn. How the hell I'm supposed to get these Moesha micro braids now? She like, oh, ain't no way. I'm telling you. Shorty looks stunned. She like, ain't no way. How? Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. So I'm telling y'all, sisters, I mean, look, real men are going to rock with you when you real. Yeah, this is fear right here. See, a lot of y'all don't understand the psychology of all this. This is fear. It's like she's seeing a ghost. Because listen, that hair has spiritual connections to it. This hair that they getting from overseas are sacrificed to different gods, man. They be sacrificing the hair to different deities. So they be growing a real connection to this hair. Y'all seen it?
Items are sourced from China.
From China.
She like, I'm going to China. That look is, I'm going to China. So what part of China? That's what she thinking. Let's go.
Specifically.
Yes.
China specifically.
When President Trump imposed a 145% tariff on imports from China, Monroe says her vendors hiked prices and the increase will soon hit her store shelf.
I'm going to tell y'all, ladies, in these stores, the hair is coming straight from various countries, but it's being processed through China. But there's voodoo priests and witch doctors who bring the hair up to the temples and they be praying to the goddess Shiva. They be praying over the hair. And then when you sew it in your head, you feel a certain way. You feel extra beautiful and you feel like you got some type of new sense of confidence or whatever the case is. But it's because it's spiritual. Whatever god or goddess that they sacrifice their heads to, because they shave the actual hair. And if y'all ever see it, get the chance to check out a documentary. There's a documentary called Good Hair. And it's produced by Chris Rock, or at least he's starring. It's starring Chris Rock. I advise everybody to watch that documentary called Good Hair. And it shows you how they package the hair, how they sell the hair like kilos. I'm talking about they be moving it like weight. And those people over there in India, they be getting filthy rich off of the black woman. I mean, they be getting stanky rich. And the hair, and they be showing you how they clean it because the hair be having all kind of insects, maggots, bugs. It be lice in the hair. And they have to go through a process of getting all of that out. And then they show you, look, we go to the goddess. We go down to the temple house and we bow to the gods and we sacrifice our hair. They sacrifice to the ocean and all of that. And then they ship it over here. You buy it for $600, $700, $800. And you sew it in your head, and whatever spiritual powers they have in it, it's in your hair now. It's in your scalp. And I don't know if y'all fellas notice, but a lot of times these ladies, when they be getting these weaves sewn in, their head be bleeding and all of that. It be mixing it with their blood. It be mixing it with their blood. Like them braids that woman had, those were real tight in her head. I'm telling y'all, man, this stuff is real.
Shelves. I normally have a short afro.
Yeah.
Right now, I've got about 4 packs in for my braids.
Yeah.
How much would that cost with tariffs?
Yeah. So,
Damn, she got 4 packs of that joint in her head.
just like a pack of hair like this, that would be $6.99. So this could very well be double the price.
Double.
So a lot of these increases are ultimately, it sounds like, going to the consumer.
Absolutely.
In the United States, black hair care is estimated to be a $2.5 billion industry, and loyal.
Sheesh. $2.5 billion industry. Ladies, $2.5 billion. Now imagine, ladies, if y'all was to stop supporting this, right? If y'all was to stop supporting this, right? Peep this. If every black woman in America said, we're no longer doing this. Look, y'all, we can buy our own country. You know what I'm saying? We could buy our own islands. We're literally free. $2.5 billion, that goes a long way. We could feed all our poor. That's enough money to have our own political party, our own respect, our own nation. Just that alone. Just that alone. Now I want you to just really consider this. And see, I made videos talking about you brothers too, out here buying designer and name brand this and Versace, Da Vinci, Prada, this one and that one. Look, that stuff made in China too. It ain't no point of all that useless spending. We got to get it together. We got to get it together. Let's go.
Customers are bracing for impact.
I know they talk about everything else, but I want to know about the hair products.
This is important for Black women, especially our beauty, our hair. Sometimes we may not even be able to get a job if we don't look a certain way.
Well, I mean, that's why you ladies got to understand that your job should be being wives. Your job should be being wives. Of course, I'm not saying a woman shouldn't have a job, but if a job is not going to hire you simply because you don't have a weave in your hair, that's discrimination. And you don't want to work there anyway because they're going to treat you horribly there. If they're not going to hire you because you got kinky hair or you got, locks or braids or whatever, curly hair, kinky hair, whatever, then you don't need to be working there. What kind of job going to say, look, you're not hired here because of your hair? I think some of this stuff be in y'all ladies' mind, but I could be wrong. I mean, there is discrimination that goes on, but I believe some of this be in y'all's minds, man. If you qualify for the job and you apply for the right job, that stuff shouldn't even matter.
A job if we don't look a certain way. Not even be able to get a job if we don't look a certain way.
That means you bowing to white supremacy. You can't get a job unless you look a certain way. And then she did her hands like her hair has to be laid down for her to get a job. That's the wrong job. That's problematic in itself, that society has made our women feel this way. You ladies need to find some Black-owned businesses to work for, something. There got to be an alternative solution. Anyway, let's go.
Foreign suppliers are critical to small businesses like Monroe's. Some vendors encouraging buyers to take advantage of the now 90-day pause on tariffs for other countries, like Cambodia, where Butter Baby Hair Imports owner Shadara McGilberry sources.
See, y'all see that? This is how they do the hair, right in these little processing centers right here. Right here is where they do the hair. You see that lady right there? She got the dot on her head. She's the probably one of the witches. You know what I'm saying? That orchestrate the women shaving their head off. This is where they clean it and all. It looks just like these rooms right here. Look, they got hair keychains hanging up on the damn wall. What is that? Ladies, the Most High, He made you a certain way. You don't need this stuff in your hair or in your head. These people don't serve Jesus. These people don't serve Christ. These people who shaving their head off worship other goddesses. Let's go.
Butter Baby Hair Imports owner Shadara McGilberry sources her products.
We're not passing that on to the customers at the moment.
Do you expect that to change?
Most definitely. It's definitely going to have to.
And you could tell she's just a weed connoisseur. This woman right here is like she's like the Gestapo. She like the Frank Lucas of weave. She got all of the weaves. And she's dealing with the Indian woman. She's doing the imports. And I'm going to tell you, she probably do witchcraft. Straight up, I can see what type of spirit on this woman. She do witchcraft too. Yeah, I can see it. It's a witch. I can see a witch.
Definitely, it's definitely going to have to change. If it doesn't.
Yeah, she putting that sorcery on you ladies. Yeah, that's a witch. Telling you right now, that's a witch. How you think she got connected with those Middle Easterns over there? You see them long ass snuffleupagus eyelashes? I can tell when I see a witch. Yup. And she doing all kind of spells over that damn hair.
And change, will end up going out of business.
Yeah, her pocket's getting hit right now.
Economist Trevon Logan says many Black-owned mom-and-pop shops aren't in a position to adjust to a global trade.
And you know what's funny? Them Chinese shops, they not getting hit. Because a lot of these weave shops is not Black-owned. Let's be clear about that. Them Chinese people, they connected. They getting it for a whole nother import. Them tariffs ain't let me tell y'all something. Them tariffs are not affecting the Chinese people. Not at all. Them tariffs ain't affecting the Chinese people. You know why? Because they got cousins and aunties and connections. They use Babylon like a whore. They come over here, get rich, and then they go back home. They're not being affected by the tariffs. The people who from China that own shops here, they're going directly to the imports, and they're not getting hit with them tariffs. I'm telling y'all. Only the Black-owned shops are going to get shut down. So y'all, because there may be more Black women owning these shops, and they're going to get them shut down. And guess what? Them Chinese people, they're going to end up going back home after they done with America. After they done got all of y'all and y'all's daughters in weaves, they're going to go back to America. And also, I'm going to tell you this too, man. They clamping down on all this because there's less women actually wearing these nowadays. Women are waking up. They're wearing their natural. Proverbs 31:30, which states, favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. That's right. This stuff is vanity. A woman that serves the Lord shall be praised. Not a woman who got to go put all this extra into her looks to try to get some attention. And listen, I'm not coming down on nobody. I understand everybody in different places. Some of you ladies, I hope y'all don't take offense to what I'm saying in the video. I'm just saying we got to do better. Because listen, you ladies are spending $2.5 billion on this weave every single year. And it's crazy.
Trade war.
The smallest fish in the largest possible pond does not have that sort of negotiating power. The second problem is you think one of the things that you would do is buying a lot of things now before the tariffs hit. But if you're a small business, you don't have a lot of space to stock all of that inventory.
We've heard from the Trump administration that the end goal is to, in part, bring manufacturing back to the U.S. You've said that because of...
And ladies and gentlemen, like the video, share the video. YouTube is trying to shut down all the real content creators. That's what's happening right now, for the record. They're not sending notifications out. It's up to you all to like the video, share the video. They're trying to replace all of the real people who built the platform, and they're trying to give it to they're trying to give the podcast to athletes and former actors and former musicians, and they pretty much Xing out the people who built their platform. That's what's happening right now. Y'all wonder why my numbers is changing and you other creators you watch, their numbers is changing. They are literally shadow banning all real channels. And they're trying to replace people. They're trying to basically get people who are controlled so they can set the narrative. And also there's a lot of AI channels that are stealing from us. They got a whole lot of AI channels out there. And the whole market is becoming oversaturated, and the real patriarchs of this game ain't getting what they supposed to get. So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have to share. If y'all want to keep this type of material around, you know what I'm saying? Share it. Or I would just take it to Patreon and keep it on Patreon, or just make all my content for members only, because that's what I would have to do just to even sustain on this platform with the games they playing. So it's up to y'all to actually share. Y'all got to help a brother out and share the material. Some of y'all watch it and y'all regulars over here, but y'all don't never hit the like button. Y'all don't never share. But for those who do like the button, hit the like button and share. Thank you. And also consider support me on Cash App. At the end of the stream, I'm going to shout y'all out, whoever sends Cash Apps, man. But thank y'all. But let's continue.
Some of the pricing, you might bring these products, the manufacturing, to the country. So is it working?
I think it is working, but it's not working. So it becomes unaffordable.
At Pink Noir, Monroe also sells her own hair care line. Since the tariffs, she's explored making the products here in the United States.
The minimum order quantities.
And that's what you ladies should be doing, making your own products. Straight up. And a lot of sisters are actually doing that. But, you know, you got to get the products from the actual earth. You got to find out what ingredients you need. Get it from the earth. But let's go.
Are astronomical for a small business.
And I've been struck that throughout this conversation, often you've had a bit of a smile. But when we talked about sort of the risk to your business, that smile did fade a bit. And I wonder, how has this felt for you as a small business owner?
There's absolutely fear. But I will say this, we are resilient. I come from a resilient people. For me, this is like.
Let me see. Let me get this for Dave Jennings, the Cash App. Let me do you a favor real quick. I'm gonna come over here playing. Don't go play by yourself, man. Got me fucked up. All right, let's continue.
Legacy. It's not just a beauty, a place where people are getting pretty. This is a community thing. So all of the work we've all done as a community then goes down the drain. And that's what I'm fearful of.
Thanks for watching. Stay up.
And you know, that's just the weave shops. The weave shops is getting hit. Y'all end up playing double and triple. But more importantly, the truckers, man. The truckers, they have already spoke out. And I'm going to tell y'all something, right? The reason why the truckers are losing jobs expeditiously is because the ports is not getting as much imports. They're not getting as much material. They're not getting as much shipment containers. They don't need the people to transport using the trucks because they don't have the items, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I was talking about with it being a lot less options. This is why I keep talking about this retail apocalypse. It's coming. The truckers have been, basically complaining about this. There's been massive layoffs. And I'm talking about aside from the 20,000 people who've been laid off at UPS, there's been multiple layoffs all over the United States. And this is extremely problematic. But anyway, I want y'all to hear what's going on with the trucking industry as tariff/imports triggering these layoffs.
Jobs report, some industries are starting to feel the belt tightening because of President Trump's tariffs, with hard-hit truckers taking another blow. Layoffs are beginning in the trucking industry as American ports are seeing a big drop in cargo ship arrivals, meaning less to haul across our country.
It's less to haul across our country because the stores are going to be empty. The shelves are going to be empty. There's less to haul because they don't plan on putting these items in the store. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't say this so you all can panic, but why I am saying it is that you can prepare for what's to come. There's certain items that you want to have. Keeping in mind that this is inevitable. How do we know this is inevitable? Because they're not getting the actual items. They're not getting the items. They're not getting the items. I want this to sink in, brothers and sisters. They're not getting the items. They have no need for the trucks. They're not getting the items. They have no need for the trucks. I said they're not getting the items, so they don't have any need for the trucks. The items will not be in the stores. Why? Because they don't have the items. It's only a matter of time, a matter of months before you actually see it. All right? The layoffs are real. A lot of truckers worldwide are speaking out online right now. They're talking about how they lost their jobs. These people are not making this up. There was truckers warning us months ago, matter of fact, years ago, about this time coming. And I'm going to tell you right now, Trump was set up to crash the American economy. He is a Manchurian candidate. He is being used. They set him up to destroy America. All right. Now, I know a lot of people have a false sense of hope, but the truth of the matter is Babylon will fall. And it's important that we move accordingly. The stores are going to be empty. There's going to come a time where if you don't have a network of people that you can commune with, you're going to be shit out of luck. Do you understand me? You can take that how you want to take it. It's the truth. Well, how do we know this? The Bible prophesied the lack of bread that is coming. The Bible prophesied that in the book of Esdras, that people would be rummaging people's homes. Why? Because of the lack of bread. The Bible prophesied that a loaf of bread would be a day's wages. So if you think that we have it difficult now, if you can foresee what's going to take place, you would know how blessed you are right now. All you brothers and sisters, we're all blessed. We're all blessed right now. But if we don't move accordingly based on what's happening, it will get extremely difficult in the future. Now, if we do take heed, then we will escape our captivity with great substance. All right. Now, if y'all wondering why I repeat myself over and over and over, all of a sudden, why do you start doing that, Bree? Because there's a lot of people who they need me to repeat it because they misunderstand what's being said. And I want to be very clear, right? Now let's go.
News Nation's Nancy Liu is live for us in Southern California, speaking to those affected. So, Nancy, what are they telling you?
Well, Nicole, we're hearing words like bad and dire and even crisis. We're standing next to a bunch of truck chassis because they're parked and they're not in use. And look on the other side there. They're stacked up. And in this truck yard alone, there are about 100 chassis stacked up because they don't need them. They're typically out on the roadways. Like everyone else along America's massive supply chain, truckers expect things to go from bad to worse.
Now, you got to imagine that these truckers have been laid off. And also, if you can imagine, the supply chains are going to be feeling the effects real soon. So what are they going to do in response to the tariffs? Well, they're going to use various tactics, one being hyperinflation. They're going to have to inflate certain items to keep them open. That's why Walmart and Target already warned Trump. Walmart and Target say, hey, if you don't stop it with this trade war, we're going to have empty shelves and there's going to be hyperinflation. Also fulfilling biblical prophecy. Yes, price gouging will be practiced all over the nation. You know, and then what comes after that is you're going to have a lot of employees stealing. All right. Now, see, this is something that they're not really accounting for, but I think of all of this. I cover this from all bases. You're going to have a lot of employees stealing. I'm talking about people who are management. They're going to be orchestrating, basically getting stuff up out of there to their families and their immediate circles. So loss prevention is going to go haywire. Loss prevention is going to go haywire. There's going to come a time where there's going to be certain items sold in the streets. You're going to see a lot of people selling items in the streets. I mean, they do it now, but it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Yeah, Mr. Wild, everybody say they already doing that. Yeah, Mr. Wildsey says, tell the truth. I already witnessed folks doing this in Cartersville, even in Marietta, man. The management already on it. I see a bunch of people say they already doing it. Cornell, let me do you a favor. How about this? Let me do you a solid real quick. Let me spare you the time that you've been spending over here, wasting your time. Let me help you out here. Hold on real quick. Got me fucked up. Yeah, let's get you on up out of here. Proverbs 12:15. The way of the fool is right in his own eyes, but he who heeds counsel is wise. That's right. Let me tell y'all something. Anytime y'all hear me say, let me do you a favor, in case you're new to the platform, if you hear me say, let me do you a favor, somebody's about to get blocked. Because over here, we don't tolerate no playing. We don't tolerate no disrespect. You're going to come over here and you're going to be respectful. That's just how it goes. Let's go.
This yard costs us money. This equipment costs us money. Our chassis costs us money. Our employees cost us money. Electricity costs us money, right? So after 6 months, I would say we would be in pretty dire situations. And that's just us. And there's hundreds of companies like us who would probably be most likely be in the same situation, if not worse.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be massive layoffs. Because if you can imagine, if it's less merchandise, if it's less items going into the stores, that means less employees that work at the stores, which means more unemployment across all jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, when the trucks stop running, that means all jobs are about to get cut. Every single job. And I mean, every type of industry is what I'm talking about. Because that means office supplies are not being delivered, groceries are not being delivered, computers are not being delivered. Every industry will be affected. Every industry. Let's go.
For Height Logistics here in Long Beach, the situation is compounded by a very expensive company shift to a clean fleet. Over 20 big rig EVs with price tags of about $500,000 each. Due to far less freight to haul, the company started layoffs this week and cut all trucker shifts by half.
Wow, they cut every trucker shift by half. Imagine you're a trucker and you lose half. You lose half of your income. Imagine you've been a trucker for 10 years and all of a sudden they like, hey, these tariffs, your boss call you in there. Hey, look, because of these tariffs, I don't know how to tell you, but half of your wages are being taken. Half of your time on the road is being taken. We're just not getting the merchandise anymore. And Trump wants to gaslight y'all to make y'all believe that China is hurting. No, the Americans are hurting. Yeah, that's half a paycheck. And then the other employees, they gone. They get half a paycheck and the other employees get laid off. Nothing is certain in America. Nothing is certain. I don't care what field of work you in. I don't care if you are a YouTuber. I don't care if you're a doctor, a nurse, a trucker. I don't care if you work in the food industry. Doesn't matter. Everything is uncertain. Why? Because we close to judgment. This is just like the day of the prophets. Back in biblical days, Christ told people to quit everything they was doing and follow him. Why? Because there was a lot of uncertainty during that time. Yes, that's right. The only thing consistent is change. That's it. That's why your relationship with the creator got to be right. Your spirit got to be right. You cannot rely on skill and worldly knowledge alone these days. It got to be a higher power keeping you afloat. It got to be a higher power bringing you from one stage of life to the next. It got to be a higher power transitioning you to greatness. I'm telling you. And you got to find it in you not to care about the matters of this world and find peace, knowing that the Most High has your back. You got to have balance. You got to. And that comes from building a relationship with the Creator, finding that time to decompress and pray. Read your word. Because even if, let me tell y'all, I'm going to tell y'all this. If one door shuts, another door opens, man. If you know that you out here trying the best you can to do the right thing, provide for your family, you walking upright, you're working hard, you showing initiative out here. Look, the Most High don't forsake the righteous. The Most High don't never forsake the righteous. Listen, it's always something else. If one door completely closes, he got something else for you. He got something else for you. And that's real. So I'm not putting this information out here for you to be afraid, but I want you to know on the grand scheme of things, the Most High is pushing us all to self-sufficiency. The Most High is also pushing us to unity. He's also pushing us not to rely on the powers that be. He's pushing us to a place where we are networking and communicating with each other and building in a way where we have our own barter system, where we're learning various skills, various trades. We're stocking up certain materials. Why? Because he's preparing the world for what's to come. And we can't say we wasn't warned. We can't say we wasn't warned. Let's go.
There's word of similar tightening at other trucking companies and even some going out of business. The dire times triggered by the nosedive in freight traffic, specifically imports from China, nearly half of which are typically handled by the ports here in Southern California. Now, the outlook is grim for the rest of the year, with a drop of 20% in imports overall. But look at this, a monstrous dive of up to 80% of goods from China.
I mean, look at this, y'all. Overall imports dropped 20%. Chinese imports, 75 to 80%. So a lot of the items that was made in China, we're not going to be seeing that on the shelves. And I'm telling you, I say this all the time. America was made in China. Everything is made in China. The bed sheets that y'all laying on, made them in China. The Jordans y'all put on, made them in China. The carpet in your house, made it in China. I'm talking about all of our resources made in China. And you're going to see a shortage of this. There's no doubt about it.
Long before the trade war, California had moved to end the sale of gas powered.
By June, watch how Target and Walmart start looking. By the end of June.
Powered big rigs after 2035. But now the Trump administration is pumping the brakes on that as it pushes for more American manufacturing.
The industry that's been moving towards a zero-emission fleet at great expense. And now to have this dramatic drop in volumes here, it couldn't have come at a worse time, as we're carrying more debt load as an industry than we ever have before.
Even so, operators here are expressing faith and optimism about trade deals being reached soon, and that there will be benefit from the long-term effects of tariffs, but they are working to diversify operations.
I mean, Only way there'll be long-term benefits if they actually start building these warehouses that are creating the same thing that they were making in China. And it gives American jobs. And that's what they've sold us, right? But here's what here's why I question that. You spend $500 billion on AI. On AI. He didn't spend that $500 billion on making American jobs. He didn't spend that $500 billion on building warehouses, on building job sites. He didn't take $500 billion and say, you know what, we're going to build, whatever we can't get from China, computers, cell phones, whatever. We're going to build these warehouses and we're going to have the American citizens get these jobs. He didn't do that. He spent it on AI. So it leads me to believe that listen, they don't have no need for us. Ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, they got some real robots. I mean, real robots that can ship, package. They got vehicles that can drive themselves. They don't need us. It's time to gather yourselves together. Brothers and sisters, let me say this again. Somebody said I need to say it again. I got to repeat myself. $500 billion on AI. $500 billion on AI. He did not spend $500 billion on jobs. He did not spend $500 billion on job sites. But he wants to make you all believe that this tariffs, this trade war will create jobs. That's right. Fallen angel technology, disembodied spirits casted into hunks of metal is what they spent the money on. Starlinks, Neuralinks, anything that will dehumanize us. Or I should say anything that will devalue us.
In order to survive. Nicole?
Yeah, Nancy, I mean, we know obviously everything is connected here. So not just truckers, your consumers can also expect to feel the impact soon as well.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to trickle down throughout the economy across the country. I mean, think about just this company with half of their truckers on half shifts. I mean, those are families that are going to have to cut their budgets by half. And already we're seeing even fast food restaurants reporting less traffic in those McDonald's, Chipotle, less traffic. And the trickle down effect for all consumers means, less stuff on the shelves.
Less stuff. Man, I said this at the beginning of the summer, bro. How many of y'all heard me? Man, listen, bro. This is crazy. Because I've been saying this before the news was saying it. Before the news was saying it, I said, listen, it's going to be less stuff on the shelves. Before the news was saying it, I said it. I said there's going to be less options. There's going to be a retail apocalypse. And it's like, I can really go back into my archives and backtrack everything I'm saying to y'all right now. It's phenomenal. I can go back almost 8 months ago when we first had that that port fiasco going on. If I was to go back and play that video right now, a year ago, about the ports, everything that they're saying, I said it. Everything. And I had people accusing me of fear mongering. No, I've done my research. Yeah, listen, I said all this when they did a port strike a year ago. I said it was going to come. I said, I can't tell y'all when it's going to come, but in the near future, I made it clear. I said, look, we're going to get through this. We're going to shake back. But in the near future, this is what's going to happen. And now the trucking industry is getting hit.
You know, less stuff on the shelves. So that means less selection, higher prices.
Less selection, higher prices.
And the impact is expected to be seen in about 60 to 90 days.
60 to 90 days.
Nicole.
Thank you for watching.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Daniel, 7-4, the nation symbolized by the great eagle. Yep, I see it. Look, there's going to be less food. There's going to be less patience by the people. There's going to be more anxiety among the people. And there's going to be more chaos. We're gonna see a civil war. And ladies and gentlemen, get the likes up on the video so we can get 700 people in the building. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to check out NubreedGlobalTruth.com. I actually have a blog spot now. All right. So, I want y'all to check it out. Matter of fact, I can share it in the chat. If I got a moderator, share that link in the chat. I believe that I think I shared it earlier, but I don't have to make sure. But I have a news blog site added in addition to my website. So I'm going to drop that link because if you want to stay up to date with everything I do, matter of fact, I'm going to have to send it in here real quick. Let me post it from the joint here. And I'm going to read out my Cash Apps. I appreciate y'all. Let me read those out for the supporters. Let's see. One moment. Let me share this in the chat. All right. So if y'all see that in the chat, click if you want to check out my new blog site. Can you share your screen? Yep, I can share. So there y'all have it. That's the new blog site. Y'all should check that joint out. It'll keep you up to date. Yes, we got actual news articles. If you want to stay abreast to what is going to be discussed or what has been discussed in article form, if you old school, old fashioned, and you like to read and you like to stay ahead of the curve, support the site. And also, let me shout you brothers and sisters out who have sent Cash Apps. All right, I got one from Taheem Whitehead. Thank you. Actually, no, that's actually a request. That's a request. My bad. So, ladies and gentlemen, you got to support the platform. You got to support the platform. I don't see any contributions, but nonetheless, a lot of these other channels, they get a lot more support, but I'm bringing in depth biblical truth. And, I don't get the same support. And it just is what it is. But support your interests. Let me see here. And matter of fact, I can open the blog site on the stream here. Let me see if I can do it. If it will let me do that. Because I want y'all to check this out. No, it won't let me do it that way. Let's try this way. Well, if somebody can reshare it, no, it won't let me click it that way either. But one moment. Let's see. And I want to thank Azariah for the super chat. I appreciate the support. Somebody said, "What's your Cash App breed?" It's Nubreed Global Truth 77. I see the Cash Apps coming in. Well, I am going to read those momentarily. I'm just trying to figure out how to show y'all this link here. Give me one moment. All right. Let's go. All right. There we go. And also, ladies and gentlemen, continue to like the video. So here's my news channel, my news website. So it's highly important if you like reading. There's synopsis on every article. Every video distributes an article that you can read and get a summary, because you know this is an actual news site. And this is not like this is like World Star Hip Hop, but real news, right? This is like TMZ, but like real news that's going on. You know what I'm saying? This is like real news. This ain't just nonsense. This is news that's for the people. Get your life. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. She says, thank you for all that you do. Are you having camp again this year? Yes, sometime in the summer, we will be having an event. All right. Very, very soon. Very soon. We're just doing some restructuring, some rebuilding, and things of that nature. But we're getting to it. And I want to read out. I'm going to read out the Cashapp contributions here. I want to thank y'all. I want to thank Ingrid Carr. She says, great commentary. Thank you, Ingrid. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. We got Revolutionary Los. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it, bro. Farador for her continued support. I definitely appreciate you. Money Account. Thank you. Says good content. Katina Jennings, thank you as well for your continual support. The sister always supporting. Shout out to her. And Jalen Thompson or Jalen Thomas, thank you as well, man. I appreciate the support. It's highly appreciated. Thank y'all. And let me see here. And if, as you can see, you know, we got everything published. And then we got whole articles breaking down what's going on in the news. So not only is Nubreed Global Truth a place for information, Nubreed Global Truth website is also a source that you can go to for good news, to know what's going on in the community, to know what's going on with the world, and so forth. The stories that are most important are covered here, all right? And on this platform as well. But this is for everybody who likes to read, man. Right? But y'all see it, right? All of the most popular stories are right here. Very professional work going on over here. I take this journalism very, very seriously. I take it very seriously. So I would appreciate if you all support it, right? I would appreciate if y'all go over to the website and also get yourself some merchandise, because it's platforms like this that is for the people, not with any evil agendas or no drama or trying to sow discord or nothing like that. We talking about real platforms that take a lot of labor and a lot of time to build. Takes time to build websites like this, right? So support the efforts. Support the efforts, right? And it'll keep you up to date with everything we got going on and so forth. But I want to thank each and every one of y'all, man. Thank y'all for joining another broadcast. Y'all are highly appreciated. I got more contributions I'm going to shout out. And I'm going to be shouting out the Cash App contributors every show from here on out. All right. And let me see. I believe. Oh, Karma Walker, I want to thank you for your contribution. Trail, I appreciate you as well, man. Thank y'all. It's highly appreciated. because y'all know how they do on these platforms. They don't want to send notifications out. They don't want to share it. And as long as you, the people, are rocking with me, I'm going to be putting out this fire content, putting up these websites, doing this work. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, they don't want truth out there. They just don't want it out there. But if you brothers and sisters are supporting, I'm going to feel free to just speak the unmitigated truth without worrying about them, right? Ellie Dizzle says, miss those motivational videos. Much respect, my G. Oh, those motivational videos are always going to come. All right. We'll be right back to doing some of those tomorrow. No doubt about it. But this has been a real news week. It's been a real news week. You know, I try to give y'all a little bit of everything, right? You're going to get, if you look at my video section, you're going to get the motivational talks. If you come to my live stream section, more than likely it's something that popped off in the news and I want to cover it. If you look at my vertical live streams, more than likely it's something going on with politics that I want to cover. There's a method to everything you see going on. But, you know, it is what it is, man. Thank each and every one of y'all. Y'all be blessed out there. I got more material coming. Stay safe. Shalom and peace.